Hello, everyone. Good day to all the subscribers of this Kuya Ig World YouTube channel. Today, I am going to share with you some programming problems with my own solutions. Okay, and along the way, I will be explaining it line by line so that I can share with you guys the techniques in analyzing and the way I handle the programming problems. Okay, I have selected three problems which I'm going to address today, and I'm going to share uh, this video. Okay, and in here for a while. Okay, I would like to share my online notepad. The first problem that I'm going to address is this one. Design a program to display Hello World, the most abused program. Design a program to display Hello World, welcome to C programming, and then at the bottom line, programmer's name, then your name, my name. Okay, so it's very simple. By just looking at this problem, it's usually the first problem that our computer instructor gives us. Hello World program. We can address this problem without analyzing even. You can just make use of printf statement. Okay, so I'd love to have the solution of this on my online compiler. Okay, please follow my screen. Okay. I hope I can discuss these three problems clearly, and I can share you something good today in as far as your programming journey is concerned. Okay, and now here, this is now my online compiler. Of course, at first we have to issue this command, include then stdio.h. Okay, this is the normal, the first line of instruction, right? Because under stdio.h we are allowed to use printf, scanf, and some basic statements in C programming language. Okay, and then by the way, I am fan of using int main. I used to declare my main function as integer, and then it is part of the syntax to have these curly brackets, the beginning curly bracket and the end curly bracket, and in between are actually your programs. Okay, so design a program to display hello world. So we'll be using printf, right? And then hello world, right? I'm sorry, hello world. Okay, and then next I can say printf, right? Enjoy C programming. Okay, enjoy C programming. And then next line is again printf statement, right? To display my name, right? So we'll have a series of backslash in to give some vacant lines, and then programmer, then followed by my name, right? So and since I am using int main as my main function, I need to return something, right? I need to return an integer value, and that's 0. Okay, so going back to my problem, design a program to display hello world, welcome to C programming. When I did some analysis on the problem, I even consider the uppercase and the lowercase. The problem says hello world in all capital letters, welcome to C programming in all capital letters. So then I in my program I did have all capital letters. Only in here I put my enjoy C program in the second line, right? And going back in here, programmer, then your name, my name, for example, right? So programmer, I need to capitalize letter B because it's in the program, right? It's in the problem. It's capital in here, right? So what I'm sharing to you today is how I manage, how I treat the problems. Okay, I tend to interpret the problems line by lines, as in literal na literal. Okay, and from that way of thinking, I create programs. Okay, so that's how I do it, right? So in here, I my program, I only have very few lines of instructions because the problem is so simple, right? And I can then click run program. Let's see if sorry, select language. I need to select the language. It's C. So here, look at this. Hello world, enjoy C programming, then programmer. The question is, did I address, did I solve, did I target the problem? Of course. Huh? The problem says display hello world, all capital letters. Welcome to I'm sorry. Welcome to C programming, not enjoy C programming. Welcome. Okay. Welcome to C programming. Okay. So we'll click run button again. Okay. So hello world, welcome to C programming, programmer Janelle Ray D. Ili. Okay. That's how I address the problem, the programming problem. And I hope in your case, in your programming journey, you'll do the same. Okay. I've been into this for quite several times. Right? And even when I was in college, I did the same analysis, way of thinking. Okay. So I hope I did explain the problem and the solution of programming number one, right? Hello world program, the most abused example of programming. Now, the next problem that I'm going to share with you today is this problem, the second problem. Design a program, okay, to compute for the sum of, take note, int A and int B. For me, when I look at this, my interpretation is this. The problem dictates me to use A as my variable and B as my second variable, and all these A and B variables must be declared as an integer variable, right? And then the next sentence is use your name, my name, as variable for getting the sum. So this is my understanding, right? I need to use A and I need to use B, right? And I need to use my name instead of using sum, right? So I can say int Junel, right? And then at any part of my program, I can then compute for the sum A plus B, right? Now, do not disregard this sentence because this is part of the problem. The problem says use your name. Though your program is correct, it still computes for the sum of A and B, but then as far as this problem is concerned, it dictates you and demanded for something, and you are required to use your name to compute for the sum. And in here I did use my name to get for the A plus B, right? So let's do the coding. Okay. I would like to have here, okay, of course we will always start with include, right? stdio.h, and then I am a fan of int main, right? And int A, I can even have one line in here, really, it's okay. Anyway, A, B, and Jonel are all integer variables. In your case, you can use your name. If you are Mario, then you can say Mario. If you are Mark, then you can say Mark, right? So to compute for, what's the problem? Design a program to compute for the sum of A and B. So the problem did not specifically say your program will ask from the user, right? The program just say that you must compute for A and B. So meaning you can just store something to A and something to B, and then compute for the sum of whatever are the values of A and B, and then display sum of A and B is, then data placeholder, right? Period, and then whatever is the value of my channel, right? Then return 0 at last. Okay, so here the problem says, okay, the problem says design a program to compute for the sum of int A and int B. So that is why I use A and B here, and then use your name as variable for getting the sum. So to compute for the sum, I must use my name. So I have here, since the problem did not demand for anything, did not saying I create a program to ask for, because if the problem says to ask for a value, I must use scanf. But then it didn't say anything, so I can store directly any value to A. So I did store 4 to A, 7 to B, and then I have this formula to get the sum of A and B and store it to my name. So that's according to the problem. Then the sum of A and B is whatever is the value of my name. It's variable, okay? So I can now click run button. By the way, when you do programming, it is quite impossible for you to understand really what is the flow of your program, whether your program is logically correct or syntaxically correct. If you want to click the run button, you have to execute your program and look at the screen output. Does it target the problems? Because if not, right? So when you're doing programming way and you did not bother clicking run button, then what's for? So what's the purpose of that? So you have to run it, look at the screen output if it targets the problem. Okay, so here this is now the result. Sum of A and B is 11. Does it target the problem? Yes, of course it targets the problem. My program get or display the sum of A and B. It's in here. Use your name as variable for getting the sum and display. So I hope I was able to share my 1 peso techniques in analyzing problems. Even the smallest detail, even the caps and the small letter, I did give due consideration on that. Right? Now, last problem that I'm going to share with you today. Okay? Now, design a program to compute for the product of 3. So there are 3 variables in here. Your last name, my last name, store it 5, your first name 7, your middle name 4. Then use your mother's name as variable to get the product of the 3 values mentioned and displayed. So I can say in my last name, right? I can even store 5. Okay, and then in first name Junan, I can store 7, right? Middle name in Dignos, I can store 4. Okay, and then at any part of my program I can use my mother's name. Okay, so I need to declare my mother's name in here, right? And then at the middle part of my program, I can then compute for the products of these 3 variables and display, right? This is a very simple program. This is a very simple problem, but the thing here is I did analyze the problem so literal, to the point that I can use the word your last name. I can even use your first name as my variable, but then I tend to interpret as my last name, my first name, and my middle name. This is my mother's name. That's how I targets problem. That's how I create programs based on this. This is how I analyze programming problems. Okay, so that's it. Or or instead of assigning directly, right? You can say in here, you can say in Hilig, right? Junel, Dignos, Nelia as integer. And then at any part of your program, you can say Hilig is equal to 5, right? Unya, and then Junel is equal to 7, right? And then what's next? Dignos is equal to 4, and then followed by this formula. Okay, same thing happens. You declared all the variables, and then you assigned values, and then you compute for the product. Same thing, same logic, same screen output. Okay, now let's have the coding. Okay, again and again, we need to start with stdio.h, right? And then in main, my favorite one, right? And then int what is that? Junel, right? Dignos and Nel, right? And then I can assign Hilig by how much? How much was that? 574, right? So 5, okay. 7, right? I'm sorry. Dignos 4. And I can then compute for the products. Hilig times Junel times Dignos, right? And then display with there. The product of I will be displaying whatever is the value, right? The product of %d, and %d is %t. Okay, and then I can say Hilig, Junel, Dignos, Nelia, right? And since I'm using int main, so I need to return something. Okay, so here we'll try clicking run program, run button. So this is now the result. The product of 5, 7, and 4 is 140. 5 is actually this one, right? 7 is this one, okay? 4 is this one, and the product, which is 140, is here. These are actually placeholder, right? So I think that's it. Now bonus, I would like to share something which, say for example, let's say for example I forgot placing semicolon under my declaration part. When I click run, your program won't run, and it says here, right? It says here, attribute before Hilig, there's a need for comma, Nelia Hilig underscore. Okay, so the program is looking for semicolon, right? So it's syntax error. So when you click this one, after addressing such problem, then it runs, right? Okay, say for example I forgot to place, or instead of Nelia, I forgot in here, right? The data placeholder in here needs how many values? 4. And I only have how many variables? 3 variables with values. So there's lacking in here. I need one more, but I forgot. So what happens? We'll try clicking run program, right? It's still run. Look at this. Warning. Format %d expects a matching integer. So C compiler is looking for a certain value to be placed in here. But since none, it displays an error, but then it's still run. It displays the result. The product of 5, 7, and 4 is this one. This is now actually the value coming from the C compiler. Since we don't have any variable placed in here, so the compiler gives us his own way of thinking. Diba? But there's an error in it. So we need to have nil here. Okay. So when you click run, then we're not giving any chances to the compiler to give his own way of computing the product, right? So we have our own 140, right? So see, what I'm trying to discuss today is the later part of my program, of my videos. Whatever lacking on your screen when you click run button, it will be it will be evaluated, and the compiler will display the error. Okay, that's why when you do programming and without clicking run program, do not do programming instead, right? Because how did you know your program is okay technically and logically? So you have to click run program before saying hey, this program is absolutely correct. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope I shared something useful today in your part while you are trying to learn C programming language, and hopefully very soon you'll become a good programmers, and you'll learn a lot of things from C as your basic foundations in the programming journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you will share this video to your friends who are looking for some materials for C programming. It's free. It's in my YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless us all.